Hello and welcome to the PM Show, your monthly roundup of what's new and going on in the modelling world. How are we doing this afternoon, Mr. Matt? We all good?
I'm very well, thank you. Yep, very well indeed. Can't
Recovered
complain.
after Telford?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, nice weekend, nice catch
It
up.
was. Nice to catch up. Nice to see some old friends, some new
Yes.
friends as well. Nice to see lots of the members and things like that as well. So yes, fantastic.
Yeah, no, all right. It was. Seems a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
It does now.
Only
That's
2
2 weeks
weeks.
ago now. Yeah, I know. It does feel like
Seems
last
ages
year.
ago.
Anyway, the big news is, as you can see below us, is the 109. Hopefully, I've got one winging its way here as we speak, which I'll be able to do a full review of. And yeah, again, took me by surprise completely on the Friday. It was one of those kits where, yeah, I totally get it. I think it's a really, really nice. Obviously, it's 1/24 scale if you have been under a rock since it got announced. New tool, obviously. To be honest, it looks really nice. So obviously, this picture here is one of Airfix's ones that we've just lifted off the old interweb. But I've seen it in the flesh. I fondled the plastic. It looks really, really nice. It's up to the standard of Airfix in their 1/24 scale. And as a bit of a Luftwaffe fan, Matt, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, brilliant subject. Like I say, the speculation before on the day before or whenever it was that it was going to be, everybody were guessing at lightning, thunderbolts, all sorts because of what they'd put up. No, I think nobody guessed it was a 109.
No.
Well, not until it got leaked, obviously, by some which I think's bad.
Yes,
so if you leaked it,
bad.
give yourself a slap because I think that's disgusting. But again, it goes well with the Spitfire. It's a bit different from the RAF stuff, and again, it's good subject matter. It's a 109G in it, so
yeah,
you can get a bit of mileage out of that airframe, I think, as well. If they're under some different variants and stuff, you can, you know, I think there'll be a few other boxings with different bits in. But again, looking at it at Telford, it does look a spectacular kit. And to be fair, their new 1/24 scale, like the Spitfires they've done, are nice, aren't they? They are nice kits, and it's going to be in that nice new styrene as well. That darker grey style is lovely to work with. Is really nice. Now they've changed it from the softer grey, the early stuff. It's a lot better quality styrene. But I don't know why it's just nicer to work with.
Yeah, it's nicer to work with.
I think it's. I mean, you're always going to get sink moths, but you was always a bit worried if you use too much glue on the grey, the lighter grey stuff. You would get ghost seams over time because it was really soft. It used to take extra thin brilliantly. It used to, you know, glue your surface together with no problem. But it was always that, I don't know, element of you could just melt something very easily with it.
Yeah.
Where this newer styrene is, like I say, is really, really nice to work with. It goes together. I mean, the 109 added the 48, the E was in the newer stuff, and you can, I don't know, you can just tell the difference when you're working with it. It's good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to get one for me.
Yeah.
I think I've got every other 1/24 scale Airfix kit at the minute. And I think you're going to see a load built as well. And obviously then the aftermarket guys are going to jump on it. So you're going to get your 3D printed cockpit parts if it needs it. I think the cockpit looks really good. And you got to think we're 109 as well. Even in 24th scale, they're a narrow, deep cockpit.
Yes.
So belts is an obvious one, but whether, you know, with instrument panels and other bits, even sidewall, I don't know if you're going to need it. But then, you know, decal wise as well, they're all going to be all over that with doing the decals, and I think hopefully One Man Army will do a mask spray on set as well.
He currently does one, doesn't he, for the trumpeter one?
It does, yes. Is he going to adapt it to the Airfix one? Because obviously trumpeter and Airfix, this could be two different kits here, even though it's the same plane, you know, with the scalings. Without doing a side-by-side comparison, you're never going to know. But again, it's up his street, really, isn't it, to do it in, because 24th works well with actually spraying your own markings on. Let's be honest, it's just the perfect scale for it. Because it's so big in it. So
I must admit, this is one of those ones where I'm not massively into Luftwaffe stuff, like obviously Nathan and Lots are into it. But yeah, this one really sparks my interest. I haven't built a 1/24 scale Airfix kit since the Typhoon.
No,
which was
Harrier.
Oh yeah, if you count the Harrier, I was on about the
Are,
newer
are we
stuff,
talking new school here, not old school?
newer stuff rather than the
God,
70s stuff. So,
yeah.
so yeah, it was okay. So I did do the Harrier, I suppose, the last one, but from the newer stuff, obviously, I did the Typhoon, I did the normal bubble top type. And again, it was one of those where it was a step forward for Airfix. It's got canning on it. It's got everything you wanted. It was really, really nice. And we threw everything at it and we cut it open because you could. And again, the Hellcat came along and the various ones. And obviously we saw the Mosquito down the line as well. And obviously the Spitfire. And I've got the Spitfire in front of me over here. I've just never built it. But I must admit, this one, it just looks nice. And that particular view, I built the 132nd one and put a resin engine in it a long time ago, the Hasegawa kit back in the day. And my photo was almost identical to that as I took for it as well. And there's part of me that now wants to relive that again, but do it with this kit in sort of 124th and all the rest of it. What I'd like to do is, obviously I will have a word with One Man Army about it, because I was going to work on a project next year with them anyway. So it might be a case of do it with this one, be even nicer. And again, to use nothing but spray stuff instead of decals. It'll be painted everything. So all the stencils, obviously all the markings, absolutely everything. It'll be nice to do it that way as well. I'm led to believe that the mast set, not going to go down that route, but apparently even the spinner on the front is a mast that comes with the kit. So
it's well thought. I think actually how it's been planned. It is actually well thought out because that sort of spinner can be a pain in the backside to mask at the best of times. But I think they've
especially if it's a decal as well, getting a decal to lay like it as well.
Well, they never do they?
No,
they never do. You always break them up and fiddling.
Yeah.
And again, in this scale, a decal would probably look a bit naff, to be honest.
Yeah.
So spraying it on, you can then chip it, you can weather it, you can do whatever when you've got it all in paint, can't you? Rather than trying to chip and thingy over a decal. But
yes, yeah,
I just think it's a very sensible release. We've said this a long time of people releasing sort of odd things, shall we say, and a 109, a Spitfire, a P51, a 190, a 0 even. There's certain planes that are gonna sell are like bankers, aren't they, basically? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a 109G is definitely one of them. How many companies have released them over the years, and we've gone, another 109G. But in 24th scale, like I say, there's only like the trumpeter one, which must be knocking on a bit now. Got to be knocking on a bit, that trumpeter one. I don't know what it's like. Never seen one. Again, early-ish trumpeter, so it's nowhere near going to have the detail that's going to have on it. So, and again, the price is not bad either, is it? The price is really good. Considering how prices have shot up in kits over the years, I actually thought that was going to be touching over 100 quid. I'll be honest. I thought that was going to be in the 110.
Expecting it. Yeah. I thought the
mark, same. And it's way under, to be honest. It's
I
a
thought
lot
it
less.
was going to be 109.99.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Is it 79.99? Is it?
I do believe, it's about 80 quid, isn't it? Yeah,
I think 85 quid,
it's 80,
something like
90 quid, something like that. It depends. To be honest, online there's lots of people doing pre-orders for it and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And it'll be out next month as well. So in time for Christmas.
It's going to be out in a week or so, isn't it? They're trying to get it on the market before, which is another thing I like about this. They've announced it. We've seen it at the show. And we will probably own one within a couple of weeks of them announcing it, which again, a lot of companies could do this. I don't know. I think my problem is with these January announcements, and I've said this before, is by the time they come to release in the fourth quarter, nobody cares. Nobody could care less.
No, everyone's forgotten about it. Yeah.
There's all that excitement and buzz of when it gets, in January, this is coming out. I'm looking forward to this. And then 10 months later or whatever, when it comes out, you've either forgot, I forgot that was coming out this year. And it's just not the same, is it? It just isn't to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no surprise. There's no anticipation. It's like this Hampton from ICM. We know it's coming. It'll probably be in the next week or so. I don't think it's the same as if it would have been if they'd have just done it a few weeks before. I don't know what the mindset is behind it, to be honest. I don't know. I can't fathom it from my point of view of why announce something could be 12 months before it's actually released, because the way the world is as well, you've got no idea if that's going to be delayed. Obviously, ICM's had problems, if we've seen them. I mean,
Proper
that's not just
problems.
problems. That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's on a
yes.
different scale of problems. So from their point of view as a manufacturer, obviously where they're based and where they are in literally a war.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're going to be, because they don't know what's going to happen, do they? Like you say,
No.
the building nearly took one, didn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, from a manufacturing point of view, I'd just sit on it and then drop it, even if it's a month before. At least then you've still got that anticipation of it coming onto the market. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm going to say you've been doing this longer than me, but obviously the internet's changed the world as it is anyway with things like that. But when you were doing it, like beginning of the internet,
yes, in the late 90s,
we didn't have
2000s.
this, did we? We didn't have this. I know social media's come after, and there's a lot of the internet that now it's got to be now, and let's be honest, it's all relevant, it's all clickbait, it's that type of world we live in. But again, we're most modelers, I will say that, are not kind of that clickbait generation, are we?
No.
That's
I think
for the
back
kids,
in the day, if you go back to when I was doing this sort of professionally, if you like, so say from 2000 onwards, it was, the thing was, is obviously the internet was so small then, there was no reason for anybody to make a public announcement about what they're going to be releasing this year, because no one was there to listen to it. You know, the only thing you might get is an article in a magazine, or be something like that. They might do an interview with like Airfix or Tamiya or Hasegawa. As we know, Tamiya wouldn't tell you anything, nor would Hasegawa anyway. But, you know,
not the
Airfix
Japanese.
might say, we may be working on something like this, that and the other. But normally the first you knew about it would be a kit release review in a magazine. You know, and as I say, then obviously as the internet began to take shape and became a little bit more, everyone took it seriously, because the first few years everyone just was like, well, yeah, it's something, but what can you use it for?
It's a bit like AI, isn't it, for the minute?
You know, so yeah, it's like AI literally is at the moment. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, I get the idea of it, but why would I ever use it? And like AI is exactly the same until you start to use it and you think, actually, yeah, that's quite handy, you know. And again, it's one of those ones where I think it was only when the manufacturer, shall we say, started to think, hold on a minute, we've got an audience. Literally, all you got to do is put it out there and people will see it. And suddenly it was like, oh, okay. And I think really that's what's happened now, is that because of the internet and with social media especially and things like that, you can get it out so fast and worldwide in a click of a mouse button, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Now it was almost like it was that thing about, and, you know, like Airfix going to be doing it next year, it'll be this year's releases, and they make a big song and dance of it and all the rest of it. But really, is it necessary? I think it's better to do like this and go old school. We're saying, yeah, and to be honest, it's the Tamiya formula, really, isn't it? Because Tamiya have always done that thing. They turn up at a model show, you know, normally Suzuka or something, isn't it, and say, and here's what we've just got, and this will be available next week. And everyone's like, wow, didn't even, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's amazing. And you get that nice hype and buzz. And that's how it always was. Traditionally, I think before, thinking about it, the only thing you might get a whisper is of stuff from Nuremberg, the toy fair, because all the manufacturers would be there, and you'd get like a whisper that we've got something coming down the line. But that's where the information was gleaned from, was like Nuremberg and things like that. And then perhaps you might have a, you know, an editor or somebody else from a magazine may go along to it and then talk to manufacturers and get an idea what's going on. But again, nowadays with the way of the internet, it seems to be that companies have to prove themselves even before they've released it. You know, which again, as we've often said, let's face it, it's a double-edged sword, because if you say you're going to be releasing a Lysander in 48 scale, you're going to get the naysayers are all over it before they've even seen it. Oh, it's a rubbish kit and it's a terrible subject. And
but also, you know, you're giving competitors an heads up on what you're doing.
Yeah, what
you're insight in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, right, we let's chuck this back to the audience, because we'll have the comments on this, and I want to know, in the, you know, drop a comment and say, do you prefer like not knowing and it being done a month before, say, or whatever, or are you one of them that like it at the beginning of the year, so you know what's coming out, even if it's fourth quarter and it's like day before Christmas or something, you know? I know which camp I'm in. I also think as well, and I've said this again a few times, but it gets saturated very quickly with it. with a
Yes.
subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then people switch off because they're bored.
Hmm.
Which then I don't do. I don't think that does sales any favors either.
No. 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 Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
it's like you say, people now. The thing your mother said is like today's news is tomorrow's chip paper type thing, and
Yeah.
it is, and the
Yeah.
internet has speeded that up like
Hmm. Yes.
you know
Yeah.
light
Definitely.
speed now, isn't it? What you
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
in that millisecond you're flicking,
Hmm.
you probably forgot about because something else is like flicked, and you know you're
Hmm.
scrolling or whatever, and it's just yeah, you
Hmm.
know. And then there's a lot of other people's opinions, isn't there, as well?
Yes. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, I think,
so
from my point of view is that I'm one of these people. I suppose I'm more practical. I just want to get hold of the kit. I don't really care about the hype and what anyone says about it. I want to
yeah,
see
you make
it.
your own mind up.
So what's quite
Yeah.
nice is sometimes you used to get, I suppose the other thing you get is like somebody would have seen it or spoken to somebody about
Mm.
it. So you've got their point of view of what it is, good or bad, normally good because they've been given it into a company. So you'll get little things like, oh, this is coming out, oh, it's fantastic. And then when it turns up, it's horrible and it's not nice at all, as it used to be back in the day. And to be honest, I'm under them, Matt's under them, we're under, NDA, so we can't talk about them, but we are aware of certain kits and things that may or may not be coming down the line, and I've known that projects from the past where I've known about it since its inception, and I've lost interest in it with it as well. And then when it actually turns up, I suppose because I've known about it so long, it's not as exciting as something like the Airfix with the 109, which I find quite exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on the plastic to review it and all the rest of it.
Mm.
I got a quick glimpse at it like Telford, like everybody else, but to sit down and fondle the plastic, so to speak, and get it, you get that sort of buzz with it and excitement with it. You think, oh, can I add to this one? As I said, talking about it, I've got ideas in my head what I'd like to do with that kit already. As you say, some aftermarket, nice fabric belts, obviously, one man army mask set for it and all the rest of it, doing it that way, and various things. So again, that's the nice thing to it. And I think some ways that's why it's a little bit spoilt when you get companies and they're talking about a kit, Qatari with the Halifax,
Yeah.
it's lost its buzz already, and that was only talked about, mythical thing at the moment, and already most people are like, I can't be bothered, and I think that's where you shoot yourself in the foot. It causes an immediate, almost like that sugar fix,
It's a
isn't
knee jerk
it?
reaction.
You get that
Of,
sugar
but
fix, and you're like, oh look, oh it's going to be
yeah,
fantastic, and wouldn't it be great if someone brought one out? And here we are now, a month later, they're thinking, well, it's a few years off and whatever. Not that excited.
might not be here to build one.
Yeah, it might not ever turn up. You don't know. That's it.
That
So
that to me, and I'm not thinking knocking Qatari for this or a small company, but that to me is a bit premature to say the least of releasing that information. And I know why they've done it as a business, but then I don't understand it either from a business point of view. It's got the buzz for the brand, and like, oh look, we wanted one of these and whatever else. But then I think there's a negative to the positive of like, it's such a long wait. By the time it does come out, is anybody going to be that bothered? And also, like I say, they've given competitors an heads up of what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't know if then they could get gazumped. You've got no idea with that, have you? So it's a risk. I think it's if it's a calculated risk, I don't know, but it's definitely a risk to like you say, to announce something so far away.
Yes.
And especially in this industry now, we've been in it. It's cutthroat. Don't get me wrong.
Very
it's
cutthroat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If somebody gets a march on it and sees, oh well, that looks like people are interested in that.
Yeah.
Why don't we look into doing one? If we can produce one in 2 years instead of 3 years,
absolutely.
happy days. We could cash in and then, and it's a lot of money to produce a kit. It's a hell of a lot of money. So you've got to spend it wisely, because the industry is unfortunately in the UK, and I think it might be worldwide, is in a bit of a slump. To be honest, isn't it? It's in a little bit of a slump.
That's the other thing I sort of gleaned from Telford. Obviously got lots of old friends there in the industry and business, and I was going around speaking to some old friends about it. And my question to pretty much all of them is, how are you finding it? As in the hobby, sales, and all the rest of it. And, luckily I know these people well enough, and they just be honest with me and tell me. And yeah, it's not brilliant. People are struggling out there. Businesses are physically struggling. We're not talking, I can't speak for the big companies out there like
Yeah.
Jadlam and all the rest of it because they're on a different planet. But just talking to other retailers, and people involved in that world, it's because of the uncertainties with the economy and things like that. People are holding on to their money a little bit more, and I think one of the saddest things that I was hearing from people is, certainly speaking to a few of them, is that they don't see themselves doing it forever. They're looking perhaps retiring, moving the business on, selling, and various things, because again, it's that thing that it's not easy anymore. It's become a little bit of a struggle out there. And I think, we went from COVID as a hobby. I can speak for myself personally, I can speak for PM and all the rest of it. It was great because you had a captive audience. People didn't have anything else to do, so they were building models. We had so many people come back into the hobby who started modeling again, who used to do it as kids or didn't even do it as kids and decided to give it a whirl, and stuff like that. But we've rode that wave now, and it's just plateaued. And it's gone very flat. And I think that's also when you look at the amount of kit releases at the moment, it always used to be that thing, fourth quarter, traditionally, always very busy. Let's face it, Revell were always on it this time of year because you had all the stuff that would be out now, because obviously it's got to be in time for the shops for Christmas and purchases and things like that. Again, really, really flat. As you say, you look at the worlds of the trumpeters of these worlds, which traditionally would be, a kit a month coming out, and stuff like this, of hammering it out there as well. I'm not saying it's depressing, but it's definitely, you can see it. The writing's very, very clearly there. And I know what it is in a lot of cases. A lot of people now are thinking, well, look, we haven't got a pot of money like we used to have. So where are we going to spend it? What are we going to, invest in? As in, obviously, Airfix with the 109 is a big investment. Hopefully, as you said, it will pay dividends with them. We know they're probably going to do something similar to done with the Spitfire as well, because it's a perfect kit to do it. By adding a little sprue here, there, and everywhere, you can probably do a few different versions out of it as well. So you're going to get plenty of meat off the bone, so to speak. So, and this is it. I think this is where we are in the case of a lot of companies now, whereas that they're having to think a little bit along those lines. And I know we've made jokes about ICM. Let's face it, how many boxings can you get out of one kit?
And mini art. It's the same
as well. We're doing
again.
it as well, and it seems to be that's where we are with it and going through. So I don't want to be doom and gloom about this, because clearly you get little gems like this one to come along as well, which are really nice. And we know we've got other gems coming from other companies coming down the line next year as well. So hopefully it can sort of turn a corner and start to go with it. But again, it's that thing, just sort of everyone holding.
Do you think though?
Bit, maybe.
Right, I've just had a thought while I'm sitting here listening to you. Right, do you know we've done this show how many years now, haven't we? And we've I'd love to see this in this. I'd love to see a new tool run of these. And when we had the Monogram show, we'll go back to the Monogram show, and we will go. I wish we had a new Marauder. New Marauders come along, right? Yeah. I wish we had one of these in this scale. And actually, the manufacturers are listening. I mean, the Hamptons coming out, and I think ICM are one of them that do listen big time. I think they do. I think they take on board what people want. Airfix do it as well. I do think to a point. I know people don't think they do, but you think we were wanting a Buccaneer. We've got a Buccaneer. Wanted a Jaguar. We've got a Jaguar. Wanted a Vulcan. We've got a Vulcan. We've bloody well. You can go on, can't you? So I think there's certain manufacturers out there that do listen to what people actually would like. Obviously, they've got to weigh up the sales. At the end of the day, they're a business. So if it's so obscure that they think they're going to only sell a few of them, then they can't really invest in it. But do you think, though, because we are getting kind of what we want, we're also now very blasé about it and take it for granted?
Yes.
As a community,
absolutely.
As a hobby, whatever you want, we just go, I think if that would have been another version of a Spitfire, could you imagine the uproar?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would have been horrendous.
People would have properly chucked the toys out the pram because it's another Spitfire. Not actually taking into account, it's, it could be, let's say they redid the Mark 1 Spitfire. Yeah. Or they did a later one with the other engine in it. Yeah. But it's still gone, it's just another Spitfire, wouldn't it? And they would have been, well, why ain't it a one? Why ain't it a Hurricane? Why ain't it this? Why ain't it that? You know what I mean? And people are just like never satisfied. But actually, if you break it down to actually the kit itself, take the subject away, that is a piece of engineering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Genius, really. And the Spitfire, you've reviewed the Spitfire.
Lovely.
You take that to the 70s 24th kits. They're just
it's night
light years apart, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I'm just talking buildability as well, because you know, like I say, you've built the Typhoon, which was one they really, I think the Mosquito first, then the Typhoon, weren't
the
it?
Typhoon,
And then
yeah.
You know, did the Hellcat and whatever, and then the Spitfires have come. So they don't release many of them really over the course of the time since you've built that. I mean, how old's that thing? 15 years old, Typhoon?
Gotta be now. Yeah.
Probably.
Must be getting on that way. Yeah.
But again, if they re-released that in the new styrene, because I remember you had loads of cleanup with that. There were loads of bearing to get rid of, and I think there is as well, to be fair, on the Mosquito. But probably now with the new, because that's the softer styrene, I reckon you'll have less. You're still going to have bearing, obviously, but there's probably less of it, because it's not as soft. When it's in the mould and being done, there's probably less. This is a different compound, you know what I mean? There'll be less bearing to clean up.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see it on that as well, because I don't think the Spitfire had much, did it?
No. Spitfire's really nice. Again, it you know, we often talk about how the manufacturers are evolving and getting better, and I've often been very vocal 100%. About Tamiya has been stale for the last 5-6 years now. There's nothing new to it. It's just playing safe almost. But one I will say, and obviously this little thing in front of me, the Lysander, which I finished recently, you can see there's still development going on. And okay, they're probably playing a little bit of catch up to the Tamiyas of this world and things like that. But the way that the kit has been designed, but also, like we're saying, the new plastic they're using, such a small little thing, but it's true. It's really nice. It sounds very nice. It glues beautifully. Tolerances and things like that work so much better, because it's not just a little bit, you know, as you say, you know, the soapy. Burring, which we soapy, but also the burring. So when you get the mold, it's obviously two bits coming together. You get the small tiny seam as it comes together. Hardly any now. Whereas before, as I say, one of the big things, like, you know, sort of flashbacks of it, even though it's 15 years ago, I strongly remember all the cleanup of every part, because you have burring. So, and obviously because of the cockpit system, there's a lot tubular and various things in there. You scrape clean in absolutely everything. Thank God for deburring tools, because I was doing it a lot. No more. That has gone now. You know, they're basically onto it. Even like the Jaguar and the Buccaneers of this world. Now we're seeing with Airfix as well, the riveting coming down the line. Very fine, very nice as well. So again, it's that thing where they're still evolving, still getting there almost. It sounds horrible, but in my mind, like this kit as well, considering I went into it not really knowing anything about it with the Lysander, but it was totally enjoyable. It just went together. But little things stood out to me, the way the wings go together. So the seam line isn't the traditional two halves of wing just coming together and you have a seam line along the leading edge. It's underneath and it's in a panel line. So they've tucked it underneath, it's in the panel line. The ones on the front of the wing are hidden underneath the leading edge flap extensions on the front, and obviously in the flaps at the rear, they're in there as well. And then obviously they run along in the middle of, because why wouldn't you? Because the ailerons on the wings. So there's no visible ones apart from the wing tips, and they're an easy clean up there. So it's little things literally like that. It's not a perfect kit, because we still had trouble with the windscreen area and that, which everyone's had. But generally though, you could see it's another step forward. Very clever thinking, and again, it's one of those ones where you can tell almost it's a modeling company rather than another company who've got engineers designing kits, because the way it's thought and all the rest of it. So, you know, from my point of view, that's the nice thing with Airfix. They're moving forward. Be nice, and I'm sure there will be things down here on this 109 which will be slightly new ways of doing things as well. And it's still nice to see it, because let's face it, you could just copy how kits have gone together from everybody else's way of doing it. But they don't. They think about their own way and how can we do it, perhaps how we can improve things and move forward with it. You know, and I
think a lot of it though, isn't it, with it is buildability now as well. There's a lot more thought into actually building it when it's in design stage, as we know, because talked to Pranjit, haven't we? And he's a designer. But the thought process of how one goes together, really, somebody who's never built a model kit can pick an Airfix kit up and put it together. Even
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think even something as complicated as that, yes, you know,
Mm.
it's is a lot of it. But again, I
Mm.
think again the engineering process, which is the Tamiya way of doing it in a way, into Tamiya, you can pick a Tamiya
Yeah.
kit,
Yeah.
anybody can pick a Tamiya kit up, and if you've got any basic knowledge
Hmm.
of how to assemble a model kit, you can put a Tamiya kit together,
Yes. Yes. Of course.
can't you?
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
Definitely. Yeah.
which is good because again, it is a hobby for people, isn't it?
Mm.
So do you want to struggle with old crap kits? Unless you're a
Yeah.
sadist,
They have their
some of them it's
place.
subject. It's always down to subject matter. A kitty
Mm.
hawk kit, yeah, let's take a kitty hawk kit. That you've built a few of them, but you wouldn't recommend that to a beginner, would you? Let's be
Of
honest.
course not.
That would
Again, this
soon
is a
be
classic
in the
example
dustbin.
from, this is a relatively modern kit. I know, obviously, Kitty ought to come and gone and all the rest of it, but
Mm.
it's one of those ones is that the way that this kit goes together is your classic, almost 1970s, 80s way. It's the halves coming together, typical tub fitted inside, the wings
Yeah,
go
yeah.
on. The wing fit and joins are terrible on this anyway, so I ended up having to reinforce it with a brass rod right the way through and various things. But this is a classic way of the almost, it wasn't a modeler who designed it, it was an engineer. And an engineer's designed it that literally goes through, because it's just classic. Everything's halves coming together. It's literally straightforward, divided into two bits. Everything is literally just done like that. Whereas obviously with this one, it's thinking outside the box. So you've got various things that it's not just two halves. It's very complex how it goes together, but it works incredibly well to help the modeler achieve really nice finishes without any mess and the usual things with it and stuff like that. It's almost like, I often talk about Bandai kits. If you've ever built Bandai kits, you'll know that technically they're glue free, so they hide their seams behind things. That's exactly what this kit does. Yes, you've got the traditional two halves go together, but the wings and that, definitely a different way of doing it. So again, it's one of those ones where you can sometimes see a modeling company who are just thinking that little bit out of the box. Whoever designed that was just that normal Friday afternoon. We're just putting it together. We're building a kit. Yeah, that's how we'll
It's
do
a
it.
shame though, isn't it? Because I bet you building that Bronco, you can see how that would have been such a good kit if they'd
Yes,
designed
of
it better
course.
and done it differently
Mm.
with the design stage of it. And I think that's a shame, to be honest, that they don't put more thought into that. Some companies, I think a lot of them, ICM, put a lot of thought into it. I know they're never overcomplicated, but they always fit.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You've never had any
Yeah.
issues with an ICM kit, the ones you've built, have you?
No, not at all.
Edward, we'll take Edward because I built their Spitfire, which is down here, and it's been a joy to build. Absolutely joy to build. No issues, no problems, no. Nothing stands out. As in, they think about how they designing a kit, and I mean that's now knocking on a bit. So it'd be nice to see their P40 again and see how they've gone about that. But they think a bit differently anyway, because they know if they're designing a kit of their own, then they've got to add their aftermarket in it, and it needs to fit.
Yeah,
and now they're doing
definitely.
the hybrid scheme as well. So I think, like from Edward's point of view, they are again very modeler friendly. Let's put it that way, aren't they?
Definitely. Yes.
Which is what you want at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
So like I say, we're not thinking the hobby. It needs a lift. It needs a lift. It's in the doldrums a little bit, and it definitely needs a lift. Again, I'll drop a comment. Tell us what you think. But
tell us what you think as well.
I mean, most of us have got stashes, so unless it's something now you really, really want, most people probably build me stash. Still need paint and glue and everything to build it, but do I need another kit to add to the collection? I don't know.
No, I don't. No.
No, but we do anyway.
No.
No, but yes, I know. I need that. It's that, isn't it?
I think sometimes and we're all guilty of it, and we've often said sometimes it is worth grabbing them when you see them, because like the classic example with this 109, it can be worth grabbing them because it's a big aircraft. They could all sell out, or it could be a bit of a damp squid for them and they don't shift them, and then they end up going on sale very rapidly. You don't know, but the chances are if you do wait and you wanted one, you won't be able to find one for less than 100 quid, because they will go.
Well, yeah, it's only going to be on a cycle for so long as like we know, which is again, it'll get retired.
Yeah,
I mean, a classic example was the Hellcat. That's only had one boxing release, as far as I know. I don't think it's been released again, has it? That kit. So
no.
I know we've seen the Mozzie a couple of times. Typhoon got the car door and the thingy one, but it's never really come back, has it? So
No.
I don't know if we'll see the Spitfires again, but again, I think they're doing it a little bit different. You know, thinking different. Well, we'll do a run, we'll get rid of them, we'll move on, we'll get the money off it, and we'll move on. Like I say, they don't. Nobody can predict the market, can they? Whether it's going to be a good seller or a bad seller. I think that will be a good seller. It's Luftwaffe. Luftwaffe sells. You know, from business point of view, Luftwaffe sells people like 109s and things like that. So I think it'll be a good seller, and it's under the £100. I still think that is a big benchmark, that price point. In the UK, I don't know about anywhere else in the world what their benchmark is, but the UK, to me, if it's 99.99, you've got more chance of selling it. Whether it's 101.99, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just that psychological barrier.
It's that psychological. You've broken the threshold of
you have,
cost, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, I think people just go, that's getting a bit pricey at £100. But in this day and age, is it really? Probably not. But
no,
still,
think so.
You're thinking them terms, aren't you? Of do I want to spend that amount of money on a plastic ornament?
Dust magnet.
Right, well, else to put it politely, but you know, it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, of course it is. But never mind. We wish it full success, and obviously Airfix 100%. With this particular one. As I say, I'm going to build it. I'm quite in love with it. I think it's a really, really nice model. It looks nice. Yeah, what's not to love about it?
Nice size as well. It's not massive, is it? In 24th cutting that size. I bet it's not far off the size of that Bronco.
It's probably not a lot in it. No, let's face it.
You know what I mean?
It's not massive, but
it's not massive.
Anyway, as soon as I get a hold of it, obviously I will do a full review of it, and you can see my thoughts of ramblings of a mad modeler. And we'll go from there. But expect to see that one for me doing a build of it next year. So very, very nice with that at some point.
Cool. Good stuff.
The other thing as well, we're just going to talk about is just with paints.
We're going to actually PM stuff, because this is a PM show, and we normally get sidetracked talking about everything else, but actually the shop. So we're going to get back on track instead of being one of our tangents of thingy, and talk about paint and what we start, what we don't, what we think, what we don't think, and everything else. So, you know, we are going to get back to basics with the PM show. Again, if you're watching this, you'll notice it's not on the PM channel, but back on the Flory channel. Yeah. So we switched it over with the vlogcast that we do as well. We've now moved them back over to Flory model. So
it's all in one place.
If you're watching this, you will know at the weekend. Yes. But SMS paints. Right. Now, Phil's not used these yet, and I have used these in anger now. And again, you might have heard me say this before, but we did sell them, and then we kind of dropped them because we never really used them, to be honest. And it was one of them, we weren't, I won't say pushing it, because we're not that sort of salespeople, but we couldn't say a lot about it because we never used them. It's a product. How can you sell something if you've never tried it yourself? It's, I don't know. Again, that's a thing. But I have actually used them in anger, and I've used them on the Spitfire that you've probably seen knocking about if you've seen it on the internet or shows we've done. And it's first time, all SMS. And it's a product, I'm going to say, is now might become a proper staple in my arsenal of paints. It's I don't know, I ain't got the vocabulary to explain it, but it is a real nice paint to use. And I wouldn't say this if I didn't think it was, just for a sales pitch. It's again, Phil on one of his projects, I can't do it for the Bronco because so he's going to use Attacker, tried and tested Attacker on that. But a future project, when he decides what he's doing after his next thing, we get the paint, he's going to use SMS as well. I'm going to get him some SMS in, or if we've got it in stock, we'll send it him down, and he can give them a go, because you've not tried them yet, have you?
I've never used them, so I'm not aware. So just to recap, they're a lacquer.
They're a lacquer,
pre-thinned, ready to go, although you do thin it a little bit.
I would say they need thinning more than they are actually in here, which is nice. They're not wishy-washy. They're very, very pigment orientated. They've got heavy pigment on them. The coverage is amazing. You don't need a lot of paint at all. So I ended up, because of I'd faffed around doing a lot of pre-shading, shall we say, doing all the fancy pre-shading on the Spitfire, and then thinking these would be thinner than they was. So puts my paint down. I'm like, oh my God, that's just covered basically. So I ended up re-thinning it some 20% more. still covered, to be honest. I don't know. They can go a lot further than I think they do out the bottle thinning wise. Again, lacquer thinner. I've not used their own, to be honest. I used Tamiya lacquer thinner retarder type because that's why I had a hand. Worked perfect. Again, I can't explain this over the internet. They've got a very distinct smell that reminds me of something else, and I can't pinpoint it. So when you get these, you do the sniff test. Obviously, don't abuse it. Don't be solvent abuse. But you'll know what I mean.
Yes.
You'll know that smell, and I can't picture where I've got it from. But it's not unpleasant. That's the other thing. It's not an unpleasant, very chemically smell, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. It's not really strong either. So it's definitely a product we're using more of in the future. So, and again, you'll probably have mentioned a lot about it. But again, if you've tried it, drop us a comment. If you're thinking of trying it, drop us a comment or whatever, because we want to hear, obviously, your views on this as well. Because there's a lot of paint out there. Let's be honest, it's a minefield now with paint, isn't it?
Horrendous, yeah.
Especially watered down paint. Hey,
yes.
The brush.
Allegedly.
Say no more. Honestly, we will do a shot. We've got to, mate. We've got to do a shot. Do you know what? As well, we are now going to call people out because I think some of the stuff is just disgusting. What's coming out? Honestly, I think it's embarrassing. If I'm honest. So we will be ranting. There'll be a few more.
There will be a rant show coming up against thinning products.
So AK, you used AK on the old Lysander, usual try and tested. Just a quick one. We have got an AK restock of real colour. It should be here on Monday. So what I'm going to do until New Year, but I put one in and we're going to have a restock of that. So you're in the old jars, same paint. Obviously now they're in dropper bottles and...
Yes.
Oh, hello. Where did that come from?
Sorry. I was just going to... There we go. That's all right.
I've got edit that out.
Nice photos down in here. Me pucker photos.
We've all gone dark earth and sky, haven't we? Dark earth, dark green and sky at the minute.
Best camo scheme ever. But you know, I can vouch for these. I've been using these now since their release. As I say, it's a lacquer paint. I must admit, I am a lacquer painter. I like the benefits of lacquers, as in ease of use and all the rest of it. Obviously, I don't like the smell, but that's what your spray blue's for. But again, it was one of those. I used them on here. Good colour. Amazing coverage. I would say, like we're just saying with those, these you do have to thin, but don't just do 50-50. These aren't Tamiya. You want to thin these 60 to 70% thinners. That's why I say they're great value for money as well, because of the gift that keeps giving. So if you're like me, like the first time you open a bottle, you do a bit of painting. When you tip it back, you can't get it all back in because you use that little. It covers very, very well. I used it. We use this for masking as well and go right the way through all the motions with it and all the rest of it. And it just works. The thing I love about them is that the colors are fantastic. The coverage is fantastic. And also you get a nice satin finish, satin to gloss finish, which means if you wanted to, not that I recommend it, you could decal straight over this stuff with no problem at all. You know, and I have done in the past. Didn't do with this one. We were a bit more nice, but yeah, it's really very, very good paint. This one over here, I'm going to be using Hatakas. We got involved with Hataka now quite a few years ago now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. 10,
yeah, what, 6,
9, 8.
7
I don't know what we've been going now. 8 years, has it? So probably 7 minimum we got into it because it was different, weren't it? It weren't what everybody else was selling.
No.
And we thought, well, we'll give it a go. We could just think of something different. A bit like SMS as well. Not where everybody sells SMS. No. So, you know, why not give it a go and see how it goes? So
yeah. So the great thing with obviously with the Hataka, their lacquers again, incredibly thick. This stuff is really, really thick. I probably thin it not quite as much as AKs, but I'm definitely probably more around 60% thinners. The big thing is though, make sure you give it a damn good wake up. They've all got an agitator inside them, but they really need waking up. You can probably see in here how you've got grey at the bottom. Yeah, it's actually dark grey. So you need to get all of that stuff woken up. And that is the only thing to drop a bottle full stop is trying to get them thoroughly mixed together. So shake that. If you've got a mixer, you've got something else to do it, a vortex generator, something else like that, thoroughly mix them before you start to then use your thinners
Stick
and
them in
paint.
the tumble
Otherwise,
dryer.
yeah, tumble dry, whatever you're doing. Don't put the glass ones in there, kids.
No.
And take your pants out first. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I like attackers purely because they do good range of colours, and it just works very well. And so for this particular one, I'm doing it in sort of grey and sort of earthy camo. So I'm going to do all attackers on that purely because it's got a couple of old colours and I happen to have them in attackers anyway. So but we'll be doing those ones. But again, if you're not a fan of thinning your airbrush and all the rest of it, the SMS ones, you could probably get away with spraying them neat. But as I say, like Matt's saying, I haven't tried it yet. That's why I'm itching to have a go at them. Probably, as you say, sometimes over thinning works better. It might take you another coat, but you'll get a better finish. You get a nice, silky, smooth finish to them, rather than if it's not thinned enough, it gets a bit gritty and a bit gravelly. So, you get texture on your models and things like that. So I'd always highly recommend thinning. And that goes through to other ones like Valeos in the day, which were apparently, airbrush ready. Always used to thin those because I found them so much better if you put a bit of thinners in there as well. Which is say, you might have to do another coat or two just to get it, to the colours and consistency. But it's well worth it in the end, rather than just chucking down one and done.
I think thinking about it, actually the only paint I've used personally that was probably airbrush ready was MRP.
Yes, yeah. MRPs used to be about it. Yeah, I never used to thin them at all. Yeah,
no. But everybody else is like saving the pre-thinned or whatever. I've always had to drop more thinners in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like you go, oh, they're a bit thingy, but actually they go a long way because you don't need. If you're using it as in out the bottle, you don't need a lot of paint because the coverage is that good.
Yeah.
Also, if you decant some, you can thin it obviously more than it already is, and get a bit more mileage out of it, to be honest. So
yeah, absolutely.
So
the nice thing is, don't forget, lower your air pressure. The bit if you're looking around your room and you're seeing like it's a bit foggy in here, don't forget that's money.
Yeah, it is basically.
That's cash
you want
floating
it. You
through
want
the atmosphere, going out your window.
Yeah.
Turn your air pressure down. You want your paint
on your model, not
hanging around. Yeah,
you want paint on your model, not through. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. So yes. So I mean, we're going to do probably a bit more in-depth shows actually on paint again, and demos again, and tutorials, and just a general, talk about them. I think because we like paint.
We do like paint. Yeah.
We do, don't we? We've got a lot of it.
The hobby.
We have a lot of it, as you can see.
That's it.
Yes. So and I think it's a minefield with paint as well for people, of what to use, why to use it, where to use it, how to use it, and all that. So I think we're going to get a bit back to basics as well with stuff like that. And I mean, it's going to be PM orientated or Flory orientated depending on what product it is, because we sell it. So why won't we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But we'll do it in an honest, transparent way.
Yeah.
Not saying fear in that.
The whole point of us when we started PM Models 8 years ago, or whatever it was, is that we'd only sell what we use.
Yeah.
So
and pretty much we do, and I think we're getting back to that.
Absolutely.
Now there's certain brands over the course of us doing this that we've stuck with, shall we say. They work, they're tried and tested, we're happy with them. I mean, you've not really tried VMS properly yet, have you? Where I have, and I've become...
I have one little go with their varnish.
Yeah.
And what little go I did, I was very impressed. So
I'm looking forward to
getting a full workout on this one.
Yeah, I've become a VMS fanboy, really, to be honest. I think their products are really good. And again, obviously we stock them, but even the glues and I've not tried their decal solution, so that's something I need to try, because we do sell the decal solutions, but the glues work well. They do the refills as well. So if you've got your extra thin empty bottles, if you've got the VMS, they do the fast and the slow set. We just decant it back into your empty bottle, whatever you've got. So again, we'll talk about that in another show. So so instead of it all rambling on for the next half an hour, should we call this one up?
Absolutely. Yes, no problem at all.
Wrap this up.
Don't forget, put your comments down below. Good, bad, indifferent. Love to hear about it. Any thoughts, things like that as well. Because it always helps for other shows and everything else we're up to as well. But obviously your feedback is what is part of this. So love to see your comments down below as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Because we love saying that.
because we love saying that.
I love saying that, don't we? Like and
I didn't say it for
subscribe.
the first, God knows how many years.
I know.
23 years or something. So, yes.
Just rolling it. If you like it, you'll subscribe. That's the way I look at it. If you get something out of it,
don't bother.
But yeah, don't bother. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Just a little
Cool.
bit of housekeeping. This time next week, we've got the start of the Flory Models Turkey Shoot. It will be live and free to watch as well. So if you don't have to be a subscriber, but we'll be on Thursday nights, and then we'll be on over the weekend as well. So this is our little, go on.
I'm sorry, you do your bit. I just got something to say about Turkey Shoot.
So obviously the Turkey Shoot is basically where we all build a model. All right, I'm building, because it's done for fun and all the rest of it, this little guy, because it's an F14 and Matt loves F14s. So yes, I'm going to be doing this one over the course of the actual 4 days as well. So if you want to join us for this one, absolutely pleasure to have you along. Don't forget, it'll be on social media, and obviously members, you'll be able to put it down in the show links and the various bits and pieces, and we'll look through people's work as we make our way through. So basically it's going to start, you can start it Thursday morning, and then we'll just finish it on Sunday afternoon as well, around about 4 o'clock. All right, but as I say, you can carry on and finish off your models at your leisure as well. It's just a little bit of fun, but obviously we will be doing special show prices, bit of a sale, things like that. We don't have Black Friday stuff, we have a Turkey Shoot sale, so that will be up as well. So PM will be doing something. Obviously Flory Models will be doing a load as well, so we'd love to have you along for that one if you want to join us for that.
Yeah,
cool.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing, because I'm actually not going to build a kit this time, because I'm a bit all over the shop. But this, I have decided, as I've just sat here, is I'm going to decal this.
Oh, live decaling.
Live decaling. See what happens, because I've never used these decals. So
are you going to try and peel them?
Yep.
Good.
If I can get them down.
Yes.
And it's got the time, I'm going to try and do it to the book, to the letter.
Yes.
And I will try and peel them and see what happens. And I hope it don't wreck it, because I've really quite like that kit. If not, I'll be off to aftermarket bloody anybody's.
Yes.
But yes, so yeah, I've got a few things in mind as well, a few tests as well. I might do a bit of demoing or something as well if I get time. But I've got a few things on the go that I could do with wrapping up, to be honest. So I might just jump on them and finish them rather than starting something else. So yes, that was my plan.
Very good. Excellent. Right. Okay, then we will leave it right there. Don't forget, you can pop over to the actual PM Models store. If you just pop over to pmmodelsuk.com. Got all your stuff. We have got some kits under special offers, but obviously the paints we were talking about today and all the rest of it is down in here. And like Matt said, we've got a restock of AK due in next week. So if there's anything out of stock, should be back in stock next week as well. All right. So it'd be great to have you along for those ones. Right. We will leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's a pleasure as always. And we will see you all again very soon. Say goodbye, Matt. We're out of here. Bye.